In tuning into what tonight's topic might be, the pause came forward. We are conditioned to be productive. And along with the pause, I was contemplating right action in Buddhism, action that does no harm, not taking what is not given to you, and not engaging in sexual misconduct. Those are the three biggies, right? With right action in Buddhism. But I look at right action in addition to that. For the modern yogi, the modern seeker, today is aligned action with what's true for you and your values and what feels right, you know. How many of you have moved forward with some sort of action and your whole body kind of goes, ugh, like, ugh, no. But you're doing it anyway because it's part of a job or it's part of a family obligation or, you know, and sometimes we engage in these types of actions that have a greater good, you know. It's helping the family out, it's helping the team out, it's, you know, getting your taxes in on time will be good for you in the long run, you know, that type of thing. But just this feeling of where you're starting to do something and it just, no, doesn't necessarily mean that there's something for you to heal or to look at or to inquire into and detangle and see through and, you know, because sometimes as spiritual practitioners we'll do that. We're like, I'm feeling resistance right now. I've got to go in and look at what are my thoughts about that? Do I, you know, am I laying some concepts over this situation? Am I attaching to something? Am I identified with something? And sometimes the resistance is just a no, that it's not time or that it's not the thing. Or it's just giving you information that like, yeah, this sucks. This doesn't feel aligned, but I'm going to do it anyway because I have to take the trash out or whatever it might be. And so right action and pausing, I feel are so intricately linked. And and can we have faith in pausing when we really, really want something to happen? We really want to get to the next thing, do the next step. I have found that the pause is the medicine, not not to just be waiting within, okay, I'm going to pause, and then you're like waiting, so you're still doing, you know. But a pause without doing, a real pause, is having faith in emptiness. And if that sounds too abstract or scary, it's having faith in the wholeness of life unfolding as it does, faith in the intelligence of what is true emerging eventually. And so to pause, to rest, without wanting anything back from the pause. No, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna be a good practitioner and pause, so then I'm gonna get something in return. I'm gonna get enlightened. I'm gonna get illuminated. I'm gonna get some insight. I'm gonna get some download. I'm gonna get some clarity. To pause without getting anything back. and let the pause be the medicine when we're uncertain, especially. And how much of our life is uncertainty, you know? Like all of it? A lot of it. Until something emerges and there's a flow, and we might not even call it certainty. Or sacred duty arises, or this is my job and I'm in it and I'm surrendered to it today, or whatever it might be. We don't have to like everything that we do, right? We're doing it. I really love washing the dishes. I mean, not so much maybe. But especially when we are doing something that we know is for the greater good in some way, maybe just for our own life, um, pausing as we do it, taking pauses, knowing that it's safe to slow down. And if we have overstimulated nervous systems, as sensitive people, then we don't want to push it. We don't want to become burnt out. How many of you are familiar with being burnt out? Oh, yes, the burnout. Yeah, both hands raised, Pamela. Yeah. I remember being in a burnout for like 6 years at some point years ago. Feels like another lifetime, but it was hard. And we can become burnt out for a day, for an hour. Ah, you're in one now. Yeah, I see that in the chat, sweetie. Yeah. And then I find that when I'm in the flow, everything is enjoyable. Yeah. When you're in the flow. Yeah, which doesn't always mean that we like what we're doing, right? But we're surrendered to it. Yes, yes. We're surrendered to it. And so that has a type of right action to it. So being surrendered to the action that we're doing can feel like right action. But the pause really, really is the medicine, and having faith. Faith is something that's not really talked about in the awakening or enlightenment paths. I mean, it is, but other words might be used because it sounds as though we're believing in a concept, which that's not the faith I'm talking about. Believing in a set of systems or stories that we were told, and got to have faith in it. Faith as trust. Yes. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, it's a trust. And like, what are we trusting? You know, there's not a big man in the sky running the show, and God, Brahman, source. I mean, what does it mean to have faith in truth and in wholeness? Especially when we see how out of balance the world can get. Faith gives me the strength to continue. Yeah. And I'd say faith, not that everything's going to turn out great, right? But faith that there's some wholeness emerging, there's some balance that we may not understand or benefit from that is unfolding. And so to have faith in the pause, to trust in that, to trust that it's medicine. We have to have some experiential you know, knowledge of that. And, when we don't know what to do, the best thing to do is to pause. But we're conditioned to move forward to fill the space. I mean, how many times are we in a conversation and there's a lull and it's, oh, we start talking to make everybody feel comfortable. You know, we have this fear of emptiness, fear of spaciousness, fear of not knowing, fear of the mystery. And yet, as we awaken to our true nature, we realize we are the mystery. So, really, we are this pause, you know? Yeah, in the chat, I use the pause to listen to my guides. Sure. Yeah. If there's a guidance coming forward, that's how it's going to come forward usually. And even, I like to encourage people to, if they do have a relationship with guides and beings, which I didn't ask for it, they started showing up on my path. So I get it. Might sound woo woo to some, it might be like old hat to others, but there comes a time when we don't even ask for anything from guides or from source to give us any kind of insight or wisdom. After the abiding non-dual awakening, all guides fell away for a while. There were no more, and it was fine with me. And then as my system started recalibrating and getting used to processing the world in this new way, which really was an ancient way, it being your true nature, there began to be an opening to subtler and subtler dimensions. So it became even more, oh, wow, like we really are living in a multidimensional reality. And if that's not your experience, that's fine. Some people are wired like that, and some people aren't. Some people have really profound awakenings and aren't seeing visions of the Buddha or something like that, or Krishna. But some people do. So yeah, I would agree with you that the pause is where you can get that type of information, that type of guidance. Yeah, sometimes just as a presence, but to not demand that you get anything from the pause, to be willing to experience the pause as an absence, which is really potential. And the pause is good for our nervous system because we're in these bodies, man. And the willingness to not know, to just not know in that moment. That attunes us to recognizing our essential essence more easily and seeing through phenomena and all its conceptual overlays when we can do that. We become finely tuned to the the subtle ways that our true nature, that enlightenment is shining through all the time. The ways that reality is so luminously revealing itself. But when we're so attuned to the gross level, to doing, to speaking, to taking action, to doing, I'll just do anything because I don't know what else to do in this moment. I'll just say anything because I don't know what else to say. I've got to make a decision quickly. I've got to act quickly. When we're attuned to that level, we're caught up in, the world as we see it, on the news and that we get sucked into and identified with. So it sounds so simple, just, oh, pause. Okay, lady. But to really develop this trust in that it's enough. The pause is enough. Now, something can happen when we really let ourselves rest, when we really let there be a pause, and we surrender to the pause, to the non doing. And then insights start coming up, or we're getting intuitive guidance, or we figured out where we left our car keys. And so we can become habituated then moving forward to grasp at the insight, grasp at the intuitive guidance, grasp at the clarity first, and forgetting, oh, yeah, that came about, that arose out of nothingness, seeming nothingness, by stopping, by pausing, valuing the space in which form arises, noticing the space in which phenomena is doing its play. We're attuning ourselves to that on the spiritual path because we're so habituated toward form. And so we develop a trust and a faith in that spaciousness, that pause, the stopping, the resting. You can apply it to anything, just getting over a burnout, doing our work more effectively, being more equanimous in high pressure situations, when we're faced with just not knowing what the right thing to do is. And with intuitive people, I work with healers and intuitives. I used to train healers. When they naturally had psychic abilities, it was always like, okay, set those aside. Have faith just in being present with the person that you're seated with, or and let go of grasping at psychic stuff or insights or all the bells and whistles of the spiritual path. And so, if you're naturally intuitive or you have an active intuition, give it a shot. See what it's like to set it aside, to tell those guides or however you receive intuitive knowings to just not now. Thank you. Your own wisdom rising up. That's nice. I'm resting in the space. If it's something really true, you will remember it. If this video was helpful to you, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to be notified about new videos when they come out. And let me know how you're doing in the comments below. What's coming up for you? What are you challenged by? What are you opening to? I love hearing from you. All right. Thanks for watching and listening. And until next time.